We got quads.
You don't like me?
Is he gonna pay this off?
Show him the quads! Pineau flops the nuts. Must be nice.
Being real interested in what your opponent's doing can sometimes be a huge tell.
Pauli, with bottom pair, continues for 45,000.
Will Pineau raise, or will he play it slow, like when Clapton unplugged Layla?
He's a 97% favorite here. He just calls.
Got me on my knees.
Oh, Pauli now with trips.
That is gonna look like the best card to him, which actually makes it the worst card.
He's gonna fire again. 85,000.
Nope, Pineau with the nice loud fake disgruntled exhale.
Once again, he just calls.
Didn't put on as much of a tailbox show as I thought he would.
OMG, Pauli rivers quads.
Hachi machi.
He had 3% equity on the flop.
Well, that's poker.
Runner, runner to make quad sevens, and now he checks.
Going for the old check raise.
Here comes Pineau, 175,000.
I'm gonna go ahead and call this bet entourage because I don't like it and I wish I'd never seen it in the first place. Pauli was right to want a check raise here. Most people wouldn't be able to get away from an ace.
Pineau has 634k behind.
I'm all in.
Pauli shoves on him.
I guess that's a fold?
Another big pot for Pauli.
Lucky at the flop.
Lucky you didn't have an ace.
A 7?
But seriously though, runner, runner, runner quads is pretty lucky.
Well, the flop is 8-8-10. Top pair for Elke and Lodden. Trips for Belley.
Elke less than 1% to win the hand.
He checks to Johnny Lodden, who bets 700.
Johnny Lodden also not so hot this hand.
Benvenuto folds his pocket threes. Belley calls. Elke quickly folds.
Elke folds top pair, smooth as silk. Robe.
Heads up to the turn. The ace of diamonds. Lodden now with top two.
Hi-ya. Johnny did pick up some equity there.
He bets 1,600.
He's now 8% instead of 1.
Belley raises, makes it 3,350 total.
Johnny's got the kind of hand to take a hero to fold. Look at Belley, he looks pretty pleased with himself, eh?
Lodden calls, nearly 10k in the middle. Lodden with around 6,000 behind. Quads now for Belley on the river. A full house for Lodden.
This is just a horrific run out for Johnny. He's now got 2 full houses, and this makes Belley's quads harder to read than the fine print in my contract.
Oh yeah, milk no sugar, by the way.
Coming right up.
How much will the Canadian bet? 3,900.
Johnny knows there's no value in raising, probably thinks he's chopping.
He calls. And Belley shows the quad eights. Johnny Lodden now down to 2,000 in chips.
You guys think we're gonna get a good Belley laugh? Elke, come on, help me out here.
Kings for Mike Watson. And he raises. 5,000 total. Aces for Phil Gruesome.
Set up. Somebody bring out the stretcher.
And Phil just calls. Both blinds fold. Heads up to the flop.
How many greens do you have?
Sir Watts thinks he might want to get it in here. He doesn't.
9-6-9 flop.
He already got away with one by not getting free bet pre-flop.
That flop looks good for a pair of kings, and he continuation bets 6,600.
Does Gruesome keep up his ruse sum? This board is quite dry, so it's hard to rep anything but bluffs or monsters.
He just calls. An ace on the turn. Gruesome now with a full house. Watson slows down.
Mike's checking, thinking he's not too likely to get value by repping a hand better than what he's got, and it might have saved him a bit.
Gruesome bets 11,000.
Yeah, Phil has to bet. He really wants to build a pot now. And the fact that he's more likely to be bluffing an ace in this spot is probably going to help him build that pot.
Watson calls, we go to the river. Which is the case ace. Quads now for Gruesome.
What a terrible card from Mike Watson. How's he supposed to put Phil on an ace now?
Check.
He checks again.
He probably thinks he's giving Phil the chance to bluff at this.
How much will Gruesome bet? Just over 50,000 in the pot. And Phil Gruesome makes it 35,000.
Now, this is actually a big bet, so there are some things for Mike to consider. Phil's not going to be calling the flop with an ace too often, but Mike might think a 9's a real possibility. On the flip side, every draw missed and lots of pairs were counterfeited. Then, of course, there's one more factor. Phil Gruesome is looser than one of Jason Mercier's basketball jerseys.
Watson calls.
Just squats.
That's it?
Just squats.
No, it worked out a lot better than it could have.
Iñat Liviu, the Romanian pro, has pocket 10s, and he is raising. Makes it 32,000. 8-7 suited for JC Alvarado.
On the button, yum, yum. If this hand looks delicious, then being in position is like looking at its picture on the menu.
Alvarado will call. Litvinov gives up the small blind. Dan Smith in the big blind as Queen 6 suited.
Dan's getting good pot odds. A call here would be borderline if he didn't have all the chips in the universe, but he does, so it's totes fine.
So Smith calls as well. We are going three-way to the flop. That flop, 6-9 deuce, second pair for Smith, an up and down draw for Alvarado. Liviu still leads with 10s.
Liviu was the original raiser,
55.
and he's got the most to protect against.
Dan Smith checks to him. Liviu bets 55,000.
I don't know that this bet will get either of these players to fold, however.
Alvarado calls.
Liviu's actually got 2 blockers to his hand.
Smith calls as well. It's a three-way to the turn. And he hits another 6 on the turn. Trips for the chip leader.
This is a grosser turn than the twist in the crying game. JC is now dead to 4 outs. Dan all but locks his hand up, and no one's really likely to think this card changed anything.
Alvarado calls.
Spoiler alert, he's not folding.
But is he raising? No, he's calling.
Dan overcalls on 3 streets. Gotta wonder if anyone's spidey sense is tingling yet.
Three-way to the river, which is another 6. This is the second time in the tournament that Dan Smith has had quads.
All pairs now have full houses, just like Liviu over there has got.
Smith checks a third time. Liviu now checks as well. Alvarado with the misdraw.
Yeah, but it's a straight flush draw now,
He waves the white flag.
because Liviu somehow has the clairvoyance to check the 6 nuts. Just quads, guys, just quads. These any good? Quads any good?
Pocket 7s for Creston Nielsen. Benoit Guri is in the big blind. Ace Queen.
Looks like we're gonna see a 3-bet. Guri's played quite aggressively when he's chosen to enter pots.
He re-raises to 500,000. Quick call from Nielsen. Heads up to the flop. And we got quads
Okay, that's a good flop.
for Nielsen. Guri was the pre-flop aggressor. He continues with just ace high for 350,000.
Firing stone dead. Oh, what is he doing?
You don't like me? Cool.
At least he waited for the answer before putting the chips in.
Guri's gotta be seeing this, right?
Deuce of hearts on the turn. Obviously changes nothing. Guri slows down, he now checks.
Wisely. It will be amazing if he just snap folds to a bet here.
Nielsen does bet.
Well, he isn't insta-folding. Is he gonna pay this off?
Signs point to yes. 2.5 million in the middle with 1 card to come. Irrelevant 10 of hearts.
Really shouldn't be too much trouble Guri can get into here. He's just got ace queen high.
He checks a second time. And Nielsen is going to go for value. 755,000. Oh, wow.
I think without all Vince Vaughn's little baby games here, this is a fold. This isn't a wait 6 days and then call. This is a never call.
He deserves a Razzie for this performance. Oh my, Guri calls! Show him the quads!
4-1, mand, er det lækker lakrids, eller hvad?
Vamos, El Toro!
Sorry?
Did you like the flop?
I like the flop.
Just squats.